So I've watched this very disturbing video of yours that you shared on your X account, and I was like, this is during the daytime. It can't be true. It's mind-boggling. So I understand that this can be at nighttime in the specific area of the city, but this is daytime. Prostitutes, sex workers are here. So when did you notice the difference? When was that? When did this start?
Gavin Newsom signed legislation, and basically the legislation said that marginalized people who are LGBTQ, trans, black, brown people are being unfairly singled out by law enforcement for inquiries if they're eliciting prostitution in neighborhoods. And so this legislation was passed, and now the standard is very high for a police officer to actually have to stop a prostitute. They have to catch them in the act now. So that video that you just showed me, that's a part of San Diego. And full disclosure, that particular area, it's near a Navy base. This is the world's oldest profession that we're talking about. That's been the situation as long as I can remember, being almost a native San Diegan. But I can tell you, and the community will tell you, it is 100 times worse. Now, they can just blatantly stand, and I've seen it with my own eyes. These are prostitutes wearing 5-inch heels, a thong, Sunday morning at 7:30, and they're eliciting prostitution, but police cannot do anything unless they catch them in the act.
So if you write to the church on Sunday morning with your kids, and they're like, let's say, 8 years old, and they see this, how do you process it? Mommy, what is that? Daddy, what's that? How do you explain it to them?
Well, this would never be in Gavin Newsom's neighborhood, right?
You think so?
These are in neighborhoods that were ravaged, especially by the floods in San Diego. What happened with Los Angeles with the fires and the negligence of the city of Los Angeles, we had in San Diego, but with the floods. They didn't clean the storm drains. And these are neighborhoods that are working class, poor, and these storm drains weren't cleaned out, and these homes flooded almost all the way up to the ceiling, and they've lost everything. And this is the exact same neighborhood, again, poor, working class, where open prostitution is allowed, but it would never be allowed in Gavin Newsom's neighborhood.
And the San Diego has a flooding problem because of the rains, but it rains like what, 30 days a year? And every time it rains, it pours, you get the flood?
So as you know, California has a weather phenomenon called El Nino. So every 5 or 7 years, we get, pretty torrential rains in Southern California. So last year, and it happened in Los Angeles too, we had massive flooding because of El Nino. But what made it worse was the city wasn't cleaning out the storm drains because it's broke, because it's too busy spending money on bike lanes. To make things worse, there were homeless encampments all in these storm drains, tents, sleeping bags, full-on barbecues. Well, guess what happens when those storm drains fill up? They flow and they clog the drains, and then neighborhoods wound up getting drowned.
So can you explain it to me? So you've got a lot of money, right? You've got the federal funding, you've got the state funding. You just figured this problem so your citizen would be happy. Why not to do it? It's not that expensive just to do this stuff. They just don't care?
I have a theory. I believe that the people that are attracted to public service are narcissists, quite possibly malignant narcissists, or they struggle with other borderline personalities. They're in it for themselves.
Yeah, but you can be a narcissist and you can say, so prior to me getting into the office, the San Diego had the flooding problem, right? Once I got into the office, that was me who did this. Now we don't have this problem. We don't have the fire problems in LA, etc. Look at me. Maybe you should even make a statue of me. Why not?
Yeah. Hey, Gavin Newsom actually wants to make a bronze bust statue of himself.
You're kidding me.
I'm not. And he's been getting the donations from donors to pay for it. But to your point, I wish we had the good kind of narcissist who actually, even if they didn't want to help people, even if they just wanted to make themselves look better, but all they care about is getting elected to the next office.
Yeah, but to do what? To get more money, to get more influence, to get more money, to get more connections?
Well, look at Joe Biden and Nancy Pelosi. They've become multimillionaires over the course of their congressional careers. How is that? How's that possible? Yeah, exactly.
So Gavin Newsom wants to build a statue, to create a statue?
He wants to do a bronze bust of himself.
Where? In Sacramento?
I think it's somewhere up north. I don't know where, but it's just so absurd. And apparently he was eliciting donations for more money because he didn't like the way that they did his hair in the first bronze bust.
You're kidding me.
I'm not kidding you. That's our governor.